Camera.
Watching Camera.
Oh my.
On Camera.
Hello.
Music TV.
Are you listening to me?
So enjoy yourself.
This girl is always
so
singing.
Enjoy yourself.
Hello. Camera. Come on. It's time to start the show.
Oh. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Camera, and I'm back with another episode of this podcast. Hashtag JTFIO, or just trying to figure it out. Now, if you see my puppy sitting up here, it's because he's a baby. And these are stools. I have a high desk. He didn't want to be down on the floor. So me being accommodating and spoiling the dog, he is up here in another stool next to me, giving me a fright. Can you sit still? Sit still. All right, but welcome to this podcast. Here, I don't know how y'all do the dogs. I had to put them down. Okay, so we are back. Welcome back. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you're watching on YouTube, or make sure you subscribe, I think, on the podcast app or SoundCloud, or follow, whatever you have to do to make sure that you stay in the know for this podcast every time I post it, every single week. Make sure you're following the brand at Camera Music TV on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere. All the links are on the page, so y'all make sure y'all do that, okay? But yes, I have a praise report. I got a new job, and it was totally unexpected because I felt like, I didn't feel like all too qualified for it. I mean, granted, I have had lots of experience with this job, but I'm not certified. So when I tell you God, he just comes in and he puts the right people in your life and gives you the right opportunities. And he says, wait on me. And, you wait and you wait and you wait. You get impatient and you complain and you cry and you woe is me. And he still blesses you. Okay, so I'm very excited about that. Thank God for that. What the new challenge is going to become, the new challenge that is about to happen is that we're going to see how well I do with, maintaining 4 classes and, now being a teacher, middle school teacher. I don't know if I said that, being a teacher and, working hard in my marriage, and then me time, and then doodle mom time. Okay. So all these things are going to happen. Did I say brand management, managing the brand at the same time? So you guys are going to hold me accountable, the 12 of you that listen to this podcast, and we're going to see how we make it do what it do. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. So we were having a conversation in one of my classes about the role of the man and the role of the woman in a relationship or in a marriage. So one girl, she feels like the man should pay the bills and he should provide and he should protect. And if he gonna be getting any of this, meaning, the treasure box, Pandora's box, then he has to be bringing home the bacon and he got to be paying for everything. And so, me being my problematic self, always got an opinion that's not like anyone else's. I said, I don't agree with that. And so, the whole class is just like, what do you mean you don't agree? So I'm like, well, I feel like what makes a man any more responsible than a woman to provide, protect, pay for stuff? Like, what makes a man any more responsible than a woman? And I touch on this when we talk in our Queen Sugar videos, because it's always about like lots of different social issues that I feel strongly about. And this past week, Hollywood was talking about men should get together and have support groups the same way that women do. Okay, so I was just like, why? Actually, I know why, but it's kind of funny to me that women have come such a long way in society, but this whole notion of gender roles and like the man's supposed to do this and the woman's supposed to do that ain't gone nowhere. But all these ideas that women can't make their own money, then they're considered antiquated, and we're supposed to be evolved and independent women and, doing our thing out here in Black Girl Magic and, feminism and women empowerment. But when it comes to a man, everybody drops all that and goes back to this antiquated way of thinking, and I want to know why. Okay, so I didn't challenge the girl in class. I mean, I feel like everyone is entitled to their beliefs, the way that they feel about something. That doesn't make you wrong. That don't make me right. That don't make me wrong. That don't make you right. What goes for you, what floats your boat, that floats your boat, and what floats mine. That's life. That's why we're here, because we all have different opinions. We like to hear different perspectives on things, right? So, like I said, I feel like people have their own beliefs. People have, their own wants, their own desires, their own dreams and stuff. And that's great. How you run your house. So let me just put that out there as a disclaimer, as a precursor. So don't nobody get on here like, you don't know everything and what you say ain't right and you wrong. And, let me just make sure we say that. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. So through the years, I've grown a lot, and I've started to look at relationships like completely as a whole. If you know me, I used to be kind of like, I don't need no man. First I was like the doting girlfriend, and then I used to be in these relationships, and then I would be like talking to other guys, guy after guy after guy after guy. Then I had my little phase where I was just dating, talking around, messing around and all that stuff. Then I had another phase where I was like, I don't respect no dude. Then I had another phase where I was like, let me give them a chance, but I'm gonna hold you at arm's length. And I'm not going to get close to you. I'm not going to believe anything you got to say, but that's going to be that. And then soon after that, I met my husband, started to realize that I had all these toxic ways of thinking about men, and I had to check that and get that taken care of. And now I'm married. Okay. Long story short, but I have grown over the years with my thoughts about men and about a man. So I want to make sure I say that, because a lot of people who knew me years ago may feel like, oh, you wasn't always, and I can't stand when people be like, you wasn't always like that, like as if you can't grow, as if you can't change your mind, as if you can't learn something new. Okay, I'm venting, but anyway. All right, so who said a man has to provide while the woman like does what? Just like the rest? Who said that? Who said that? Okay, we have this idea that a man's supposed to pay for the date. A man is supposed to open the door. A man is supposed to pull out your chair. A man is supposed to, and a woman's supposed to what? And it's annoying because it's like, yeah, you want to be treated nicely. And just because I don't feel like a man is supposed to do all these things, I don't mean that I don't like for my dinner to be paid for time and time, here and there. And that also doesn't mean that I'm not going to pay for me and my husband's dinner from time and time, or I'm not going to get him a gift out of nowhere for no reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't see me on the podcast, but I'm doing this little thing where, give or take. I'm doing the choreography. So chivalry, chivalry is okay. Being a gentleman is okay. But I just feel like they all fall into these categories of, of how it was in history. So let me skip ahead a little bit in my notes. All right. So if you think way back to the 1920s, like way back when, right? Women couldn't work. Women couldn't vote. Women couldn't even speak up in certain situations. Like, women wasn't considered in a lot of these rules, just like black people, just like, all these minorities. We're not considered in the Constitution, in the Declaration of Independence. We're not considered because we weren't a thing yet, right? So then as time evolved, you had these amendments that came into play, giving women the right to vote. Women can finally work. Women can finally serve in the military. You don't have to just be nurses. Like, all these things happen. But while all those things were happening, what was our way of thinking moving with that? I don't think so. Because if you think about it, like a little girl as a child, the mom buys her a baby doll. The little girl likes to play house. All these things are happening from the very beginning as a child. The boy is playing with G.I. Joes and cars and trucks, and he not playing house. Unless you having a little play date with the mom across the street, he's not playing that. So you're grooming the little girl from the very beginning to understand that I'm supposed to have the babies. I'm supposed to wash the dishes. I'm supposed to buy the groceries. This is my role. And a man, he don't have that from the very beginning. Like he's learning to fight with his toys. He's learning to play rough. He's learning all these things, right? So I think that's where the idea comes from, that the man is supposed to do da 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 da, the woman is supposed to do da 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 da. And then also in the Bible, you got Adam and Eve. But without getting too churchy on y'all, Eve was supposed to be the rib. Can a person live without a whole rib cage? I don't know. I don't know if she's both of the ribs. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, it's man and woman on the same level playing field. Let me get back to my notes before I go on a tangent. Okay, we don't want to be treated as if we're unequal, but we'll take a free dinner in a heartbeat. You don't understand why a man is treating you like an object or a notch on his belt when all you're doing is playing these little games and trying to, hold the box for ransom until he does enough for you that you feel like you can then give that to him. Why is that your reward to give him? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna keep moving, because I used to have this way of thinking, so I guess I can kind of understand it, but I feel like we have evolved as a people by now, so this should not even be the thought no more. Think about all that we put on a man to then think that sex is supposed to be payment, like for his hard work. Okay, you want the man to go out and make the money. You want the man to protect the home. You want the man to protect you in any situation. You want the man to be a man and suck it up. And what does that even mean? Be a man. Be a man. Suck it up. Don't show weakness. Like all these things that we're telling men. So then who are they talking to when they feel weak? When they feel inferior? When they feel like they can't do it? When they feel stressed out? When they feel low? You think they talking to their homeboys about that? No. They're not talking to their homeboys about that. Most people feel like therapy just means that you're crazy. So, I mean, we're growing. So a lot of people are going, but most men ain't going to no therapist. And they not telling their homeboys. They not calling their mom. Where do y'all think it's coming out at? I'll tell you where it's coming out at. It's coming out in all these other vices. And that's where we get hyper masculinity from. All right, so let's move on into that. Okay, hyper masculinity is like, because he the man, like he got to hold stuff down. He got to have all these standards on him, all because of when the doctor slapped the baby when he came out and said it's a boy. That's the only reason why. Hyper masculinity is the man can't like yellow because yellow ain't a masculine enough color. Y'all, some of y'all just make me so sick, and it be making me so mad when I hear stuff like that. But then I'd be like, you know what? Maybe they'll get there, or maybe that's just not my place. All right. But that's where you get into this whole homophobia thing, because when women or when people see a man and he's gay and he's behaving or acting feminine to them, then they associate that with not being a man because he has feminine qualities. Maybe a metrosexual man, the same thing. A bisexual man, the same thing. All these people put all these things about being a man and masculinity, and if you are not that, then somehow you're not a man. If a man smiles too much, he's not masculine enough. He must be gay. It's all these different little things that people do that they don't realize because they've been raised to believe that that's okay, or y'all know. All right. So that brings me into stress and vices to deal with stress. Okay, so we put all this on the man to be this man, right? Don't share your feelings, don't cry, don't show weakness, provide for your family, provide for your girl, provide for your wife, ride or die, all this stuff. So then when they do fail, they can't come to you because you feel like you got all these standards for a man and what he's supposed to be. Like he can't mess up, like he can't be stressed, like he can't be worried. And then you yelling at him because you feel like he's supposed to be the man and your daddy ain't do that. So where is he gonna go? That's where all these vices come in. That's where punching walls comes in. That's where, drinking till you're drunk and you can't remember nothing, smoking or getting on other drugs or even cheating. That's where all those things happen because it's like you ain't got nobody to talk to. You figure out who you can talk to or as we like to say, you can talk to me, but then whenever I talk to you, you got a problem with what I'm telling you. I'm literally telling you how I feel as a man. This is how I feel. This makes me feel weak. This hurts me when you do this. This makes me happy when you do that. You don't do that anymore. This makes me this. And us as women, we're like, I hear you, bruh, but nah, you a man. You supposed to, I don't need to be hearing all that. So you've had an opportunity to, participate in the relationship, listen to what your partner needs, partner wants, what's worrying your partner, what's stressing your partner, and you've chosen not to do anything about it. Essentially, that's what that is. Okay. So we do all that. Then we confuse why the man is doing all this other stuff that now, I'm not ever going to say cheating is right. It ain't right. I've cheated and I've been cheated on. Okay. It don't feel good either way, both ways. But people cheat for different reasons. They do. And I feel like if you don't focus on why did this person cheat? Let me listen to what they're saying versus tying so much meaning to what they did. Let me listen to why. Let me hear you. Okay. I don't have it all figured out. And trust me, like anything could happen to anyone in my relationship, in your relationship, my marriage, your marriage, anything could happen. So I don't want to sit here and act like I got all the answers and if you follow these procedures and these steps, you're going to be prosperous in your relationship. You're going to be prosperous in your marriage. Anything could happen. So let the record show and let me go on record saying, if me and my husband don't work out, if anything like that ever happens, my truth is my truth, and how I decide to move, that don't change just because something ain't work out. Okay. Now, granted, I feel like me and my husband gonna be together forever, but that's just me. I'm all positivity, all love, all that. Okay. But, I think we really have to start thinking about like the role of a man and the role of a woman and what side are you on of things, because men are people. Women are people. And so just like, obviously we have estrogen and where most of us are on birth control and we have a menstrual cycle. So we have all these things that cause our feelings and the equilibrium and the balances of everything to be off and, this and that. Granted, we have all that going on. A man still has like a bad day. A man still has like a way that he feels about things that make him happy, things that make him sad. Like he just not supposed to have those things because he's a man. And then if a man does not get sad or mad or happy or all those things, that to me breaks my heart, because it's like, I keep hitting this chair, because it's like he has not figured out that it's okay to feel. It's okay to speak up about how you feel, right? All this pressure because of your gender is just wrong. The same way it is for women. Women have fought for so long to be heard, to be considered, to be in the same room, to just be equal. Treat me the same. Don't try to say that I can't do something because I'm a lady or I'm a woman, but then at the same time, don't put me down because I'm a lady or a woman, or don't or be condescending or facetious, any of that. Right? So, I titled this podcast Who Said That, because I feel like a lot of these things that we're doing is just tradition, and it's just going down the line, and we're deciding like the woman gonna do this, the man gonna do that. And because when I was a child, I had baby dolls and my husband had trucks and he worked on stuff. He was the man, I'm the woman. So that's how we're gonna do stuff. Nobody is questioning. The word of the day the other day was monolithic. And how groups of people, monolithic is when groups of people subscribe to like one belief or one thought, like a large party with one thought, basically. And I was saying that women aren't monolithic, men aren't monolithic, all these different races and people are not monolithic. And I forgot why I just said that. But basically saying that just because you were raised that way, or just because that's what you saw, you can change that. You can. I feel like, I've held on to some aspects of how I grew up, because honestly, if we was in here, you're going to find that when you start playing the equality game, you're going to get lost in what to do, because we've been groomed from the very beginning to understand that man does this, woman does that. We've been groomed from the beginning. So you're going to get lost in some stuff. Like sometimes when my husband and I go out, we play this game where, I pay for this, you pay for that, or you paid last time, I'll pay for this. Or sometimes my husband will just be like, oh, I got it tonight. Or I'll just be like, I got it tonight. Or we could be out and I'll be like, I'll get the tip, you do that, or I'll send you half. We kind of play those games. But sometimes we'd be like, well, wait, did you pay last time, or I paid last time? I don't really remember. Sometimes it get like a little uncomfortable, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not trying to be sitting here deciding who gonna pay this time. Like sometimes it gets like that because you're going back and forth tit for tat, but I feel like that probably happens in a lot of relationships, because you don't want, or even the ones where you want the man to pay for everything. There has to be a certain point in your relationship where you realize, oh, he can't pay for everything. Unless y'all really out here having these men pay for everything, then you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Because a man, in some jobs men make more, but a man got a paycheck and bills just like you got a paycheck and bills. It just be blowing my mind when women be like, well, my money's for my stuff and then his money is for our stuff. Like I said, I'm not here to judge y'all, but it's just so funny to me. It's funny to me. A lot of things that people associate with masculinity and being a man they're asinine to me. Like if you see a man on the passenger side in the car, like you automatically assume, oh, he ain't got no car, he ain't got no job, he ain't up to no good, he ain't no man, he ain't no real man, because he ain't driving the car. They ain't driving his car. What if they just decided to drive her car that day? You know what I'm saying? Like it's stuff like that is like, I'd be scared to have a son today. I mean, with everything else, it's really scary to have a son or daughter, because you have to teach them your way and then teach them all the other ways out there, and how to be prepared for it, and how to understand that what we teach you here does not mean that it's absolutely correct, and that there's other views out there. And you have the choice. Like, I don't know how y'all parents do it. I really don't. I don't know how y'all parents. It's a tough job to be out here deciding what I should teach my kids, because it goes with you forever. As you can see, most of these topics that we talk about, they stem from childhood stuff, how you felt in your childhood experiences, and then they move on to what happened later on in life. But a lot of things we dwell from come from the very beginning, from when you was a kid, right? Okay, so I think we hammered in on this topic very well. I had a little, a lot of venting to do, because it makes me upset when equality is not the default in anything, in race, in rank, in status, in gender, in sexuality. Equality should be the bottom line. It just should. I know that there's a lot of areas in my life where I still I'm having a shift and trying to figure out well, how do I feel about this? And am I being fair here? I believe in being fair, honestly, because if you're sitting here telling me that a man is just supposed to pay for all this stuff just simply because of his gender, he don't have no choice in that. He don't even have a say so. He ain't decide his gender. Unless he's transgender. But I'm saying in most cases, you don't decide what you gonna be. So then for people to put all this on you just because of who you are, that's mind blowing to me. I'm gonna tell this story and then we're gonna wrap it up. So when I met my husband, we met on Tinder, and I remember him saying one of the first times we were gonna hang out, he said to me, I can't take you out. And I was just I was at that point, I was just on my swipe left, swipe right thing. And I really wasn't trying to take nobody too seriously. Had just got out of something real crazy. And so, I forgot where so he was I would like to take you out. I really want to link up, but I can't take you out right now. So I was like, well, why not? And he was like, well, I just paid all my bills. I literally don't have no extra money. Okay. And so you're more than welcome to come over. We can watch the All-Star game. But I don't have no extra money to take you out. So I remember thinking, this boy trying to game me up, trying to act I'm going to get over here and feel sorry for him. Oh, he ain't got no extra money to take me out. This is just, a quicker way to bring me over and then try to get it popping. So I go over there. He had 2 couches at the time. So I was sitting on one couch. He was sitting on the other one. We were just talking about the game, talking about, his dog and stuff. And when I tell y'all, that entire night, he stayed on that couch. I stayed on my couch, his other couch. And he just spoke to me. And I remember just thinking I don't know if this is game. I don't know if he realizes you doing this is going to set you up for the next time we hang out. I don't know if it was all of that. I just had so much respect for the fact that somebody could say, I just paid all my bills. I ain't got it, but you're more than welcome to come over and have noodles and watch the game with me. Versus, any other guy who would have been you trying to come through? Or I can come through right quick. Y'all already know. Or being yeah, let's go out, and using a credit card or using money that they ain't got, borrowing money, and then trying to get you back to your place. Cause that's the games. That's the games that they play. Okay. So I don't know where my husband's head was at that night. I don't know if it was game for later on down the line, but we're married now. And I've always respected that honesty versus feeling let me cover up my situation so that I can bring a woman in and have her hooked to me and then reveal my situation later. That's a whole nother topic. But anyway, that's that. Hope we were able to agree on some things. Hope we were able to learn some things about a different view. But yes, I got a challenge for y'all, just like I do every week. My challenge for this week is to treat men like people and really listen to the needs, wants, desires, stressors. Just if it's hard for you, imagine their voice in a high-pitched voice, like you're speaking to a woman. Because I feel like a lot of these things are not considered in a man. For those of you who grew up with your dad in the household, how many times did you see your dad cry? So then do you now, to the point that you now associate men don't cry with your husband or your boyfriend? All right, so really focus on those stressors, desires, needs, wants, just for a week. It might be hard, but just for a week. Listen to what he says. If he said he don't like that, if he said that annoys him, don't do it. Or maybe find out why it annoys him. What would you rather I do? Because he's a person. It's not about catering to your man or doing stuff just because he said it. It's about like a person. Because if you do something that annoys me, I'm going to expect you to stop. And then I'm also going to tell you why that annoys me. So why do we expect anything different from a man? Or why do we have these expectations or these standards that are different for a man? All right, that's my challenge for the week. Y'all let me know how hard it's going to be for y'all, because it just ain't hard for me. It's just not. I like to be fair. All right, so make sure you're following me on all of my social media handles. It is Camera Music TV across the board for the brand. If you're trying to follow me personally, it's at hot sauce in my underscore. Hot sauce in my underscore on Instagram. But yeah, follow the Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, Twitter page at Camera Music TV. Make sure you guys are checking out the word of the day every weekday, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Drops on YouTube, drops on Instagram, drops on Facebook, and on Saturday and Sunday at noon. So I can give y'all some time to sleep in. All right. And then as far as the shows are concerned, Pose is going off this week. Queen Sugar probably has 2 or 3 episodes left. So I don't know where we're going to be moving on to. Insecure isn't till next year. Real Housewives of Atlanta doesn't come back until like the fall winter. So I don't know. I am watching a Black Lady sketch show like I've told you guys previously, but I don't feel it needs to be reviewed because it's sketch. But yeah, so I'm Kimmeray. That's been your podcast episode for this week. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.